out next will be our C Group Race 1. So C Group is brought to you by Contract Solutions, the engineering company up in Scotland. So we'll wait for those riders to make their way down from our top paddock very, very shortly, and then they can come and take their positions here on our grid.
Yes, absolutely. It should be a great race there. We've got some quick riders right at the front there, also further down the field as well. So what we're expecting is a very close race between these guys in Group C. So on pole position will be the number 6 of Dean Clark. A 124.323 was enough to see him take pole position, but only by a tenth of a second over the 150 of Liam Pearson with a 1 minute 24.472. 16, Tommy Sayer will round out the front row with a 124.720.
And row 2, a slightly smaller second row. We do only have 2 riders. It's a staggered grid. And that will be the number 303 of Aidan Walker, who managed 4th place here in our qualifying this morning with a 124.828. 5th place will see the 162 of Ian Rogerson, who managed a 125.269 as his best lap.
Row number 3, 17, Jay Collins, a 125.303. And he said Sean Rogerson and Lewis Cowper will be there on row number 3 as well.
And then row 4, we will have our Academy rider, the number 79 of Jackson Bennett. Alongside him, fellow Academy rider, the number 41 of Edward Darnton.
Row 5, number 5 of Archie Reynolds, 127.469. And then rounding out that 5th row is the 159 of Jason Laycock with a 27.951.
And then we've got one of our women's riders out there, the number 56 of Lily Rhodes on board that RWJ KTM 250. She's alongside the number 6 Tyler Clark, so nephew of our pole sitter, and Tyler managing a 129.009 in qualifying.
Phil Rigg heads up row number 7 with a 129.155, 104 Simon Billum, and then the 671 of Steve Smith to round out the 7th row. So watching them come through, there's the number 16 of Tommy Sayer. He will line up on the end of row number 1 as the 95 machine just makes his way onto the grid as well. So at number 95, of course, we're looking at him now.
That was John Oakes. He had a great day yesterday, really enjoyed the circuit. So our Bathmate team boss there giving us a wave. He rode really well yesterday, I believe taking a 2nd place to the number 236 of Dan Spencer in race 2 yesterday of our C's. So he promoted himself up to the B's, and he'll be looking to do that again here today. But we do have some slight circuit amendments from yesterday, so hopefully it suits him just as well.
That's a great lineup there, isn't it? It's always good to see bikes on the grid here at Oliver's Mount as we look at the number 6 of Dean Clark, the 150 of Liam Pearson, and the 16 of Tommy Sayer. This is your front row. I remind you, the 162 of Ian Rogerson just out of shot now to the right-hand side of your picture. But looks like we are getting now ready for the first race start of the day.
Yep, I think we were just waiting on the 41 of Edward Darnton. You can see him there just on the inside on that 85, but we point at the lights and away they go. So it looks like a good launch there from the 16 of Tommy Sayer, and it looks like Liam Pearson down on power there, getting swamped a little bit on the start as we watch them make their way into Mere Hairpin for the first time.
Yeah, number 16 Clark made a good start there. Looks like he may lead them round as they go into the paddock section for the first time, and it is indeed the number 6 of Dean Clark ahead of the 150 of Pearson. I believe that was up next. We'll watch them. No, it's Tommy Sayer in fact. So Sayer up into 2nd position. Looks like Pearson was dropped down to 4th or 5th place there, unfortunately, from the start, but already deep into this paddock section through the left. Very technical over to the right-hand side now, and Tommy Sayer stalking the number 6 of Dean Clark with clear track in front of him. You just know he'll try and get the hammer down right from the get-go.
Yeah, it looked like that was the 96 of Lewis Cowper there making his way up to 3rd place. So he's come from the 3rd row there. And unfortunately, it was the 150 of Liam Pearson that was losing out mostly there on that start. But Dean Clark there trying to eke out an advantage through this off-road section. Tommy Sayer taking the alternative line there, going for the outside to inside before they make their way for the first time up our Bathmate step up.
And that inside-outside line, the option line there, can either work for or against you, but on this occasion it's worked well for Tommy Sayer, bike number 16. He holds on to that 2nd place position, but the number 6 of Dean Clark is coming around farm bends now through the left, and that's a very steep uphill into the right-hander as well that brings you out onto the main straight to complete lap number 1.
Yep, and it is Dean Clark out in front with an advantage of 0.961 of a second there, but it is that front three group that are pulling away there just slightly from the number 95 of John Oakes, who currently sits in 4th place. So there it is, Clark, Sayer and Cowper as they make their way into the infield section up this banking. And you can see there the gravel being pulled onto the tarmac there, so really tricky tarmac layout, and then this really tight infield section. And Sayer seems to have caught right onto the back of Clark here as they make their way through, but Clark trying to get the power down on board that Husqvarna as they head towards our off-road section.
They all concertina up in that paddock section as well there, doesn't they? Because across the line, Lewis Cowper in 3rd position had a 1.5 second lead over John Oakes in 4th place, but it really didn't look as though it was that much as they went through the paddock section, but in towards the dirt now. And again, it goes outside to inside there for your race leader of Dean Clark. And again, the number 16 of Tommy Sayer goes for the outside, which gives him the inside line for that right-hander at the bottom of the dirt section. But over the Bathmate step up and back onto the tarmac then. Tommy Sayer right in the wheel tracks there, and wheels in line as well, and that is important for the drive as they go in towards Farm Bends. Yeah,
it looks like these top two now breaking away there from the 96 of Cowper as they head back out through Farm Bends and onto our start-finish straight. So is Sayer now going to try and line a move up as they come across the start-finish line? Is he able to outbrake Clark? He is, so he nips up the inside there as they make their way through round Mere Hairpin and back down through our paddock section. So a change for the lead there with the number 16, Tommy Sayer, overtaking the 6 of Dean Clark. Looking a little bit further back, it is a fastest lap time for the 3:03 of Sean Rogerson, who currently sits in 4th place. So looks like John Oakes there had a little bit of a mare. He's dropped out to 6th, with the 150 of Liam Pearson now sitting in 7th place.
Yeah, just looking at the lap times there of John Oakes, he's at 24.6, and that would put him around about the 9th, 10th place position. So certainly a slight mistake on that second lap, unfortunately, it would seem, for the Bathmate rider of 95, John Oakes, but already the leading trio into the dirt section now. And Dean Clark just trying to hold on to that second place position now. And in fact, he's gone for that outside-inside line. Likewise is what Tommy Sayer did in the opening couple of laps. And I think that may have cost Tommy Sayer the race lead as we wait for the riders to go over this Bathmate step-up. And Lewis Cowper, Sean Rogerson having a good fight there for 3rd position as well.
Yep, I think the number 303 of Rogerson is definitely the man on the move here. So he's trying to line up a move on the 96 of Cowper. And he did look a little bit more confident going into that off-road section. So we'll see if that's where he's planning on trying to make that move. Behind him there, we've got the 162 of Ian Rogerson. So I think they may be brothers out there. And it is now a fastest lap there for Rogerson on that last lap, who's currently in 5th.
That was Sean Rogerson trying to make his way around the long way on the 96 of Lewis Cowper for that 3rd position, but unfortunately it didn't quite pay off this time around. But still plenty of racing left in this one. So as you go in towards the paddock section once again, we're looking at Tommy Sayer and Dean Clark just out of picture now. The number 96, that is the battle for 3rd place. And Lewis Cowper does have the 303 of Sean Rogerson and the 162 of Ian Rogerson. Starting to look a little bit impatient behind him there for my money. But Sean Rogerson, 303, a lot of experience and in this Supermoto class, as he's almost riding pillion now with the number 96 of Lewis Cowper, but back into the dirt section for this fight for 3rd.
Yeah, Rogerson there all over the back of Cowper and taking that split lane. But is his brother going to try and nab that position from him? Can Sean Rogerson nip up the inside? And it looks like he's got the run on Cowper, but not able to make the step up there. A mistake for the number 303 as they battle it out for that 3rd place. But this battle for 3rd is allowing our front two to break away slightly. So it was a 1.5 second lead over the line there from Dean Clark back to Lewis Cowper. And you can see our front two now breaking away as they then cross the line.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there. Half a second is the gap between Tommy Sayer and Dean Clark as we come around to complete lap number 4. So we are at half race distance now, 4 down, 4 to go. But that Dicing duo at the front as, again, the number 303 of Sean Rogerson does seem to like that line that carries a little bit more speed around the outside. But this track, the layout of this track, just seems to lend itself for overtakes being a little bit closer than what you want, really, doesn't it?
It does. It's a really quite narrow circuit that we've got here at Oliver's Mount, and it looks like the two brothers there were bashing bars as they made their way up into that paddock infield section. A note just for our spectators here today as well, if you do walk down towards our off-road section, there is a crossing area on the circuit where you can go and see all this action really up close and personal and see the jumps for our off-road section. So make sure you make the most of that and go and see one of our new viewing areas that we have here at the circuit. But again, it is still the two Rogerson brothers that are keeping the pressure on the number 96 of Cowper as they come through this off-road. Rogerson just not able to get the run up, that step up that I think he'd like.
It's not seeming to work for him at the moment there, is it, for the 96 of Lewis Cowper, who at this point must feel as though he's being ganged up on now by the Sean and Ian Rogerson pairing. But as you go through the left and back over to the right of Farm Bends, they're onto the front straight now, and this looks like it could well be a run for the 303 of Sean Rogerson. If he can just keep the momentum going in towards Mia Hairpin, I think he's not quite close enough, unfortunately, this time around. So as they break hard once again for Mia Hairpin, through the quick change of direction from the left to the right, and again Sean Rogerson looking for that outside pass, but there's just not enough room there, unfortunately.
No, Cowper there putting that Husqvarna exactly where Sean Rogerson doesn't want it to be and showing him the outside of the circuit, still giving him plenty of room. It's fair racing, but they are now starting to catch up on that front pair there of Sayer and Clark, and Sayer is not having it all his own way. Dean Clark there still very much keeping the pressure on, with it only being a 0.6 second gap across the line on that last passing. There you can see that is the 150 of Liam Pearson and John Oakes, also being chased down by our academy rider Edward Darnton, who currently sits in 7th place as it stands.
That's so impressive for number 41 of Edward Darnton. He's out of picture there, but you can see on the left-hand side on the tower, Edward Darnton right there in the mix with John Oakes and Liam Pearson. There's only 0.6 of a second separating that battle for 6th place, including the 85cc of Edward Darnton, credited there with A41, so the number 41. But as we watch our leading two go through the left at the bottom of Farm Bends, back over to the right-hand side, and it is still the number 16 of Tommy Sayer who leads the way at the end of lap number 6, ahead of Dean Clark. And he's opened up his advantage now to 1.2 seconds now. So he's broken that 1 second barrier. And Dean Clark now playing chase. And if he's not careful, may fall into the clutches of Lewis Cowper, because he is lapping around about the same times.
Yeah, and it looks like Rogerson there was going to try and line up that move around the outside again that he just hasn't been able to make stick. But there's our current race leader, the number 16 of Tommy Sayer, and looking really clean and tidy here through this infield section in our paddock. So managing that left and right hairpin, then getting the power down on his KTM towards the off-road. And we've had a change there for 7th place. So that is the number 41 of Edward Darnton that's managed to overtake the 95 of John Oakes there. So great pass there for Darnton, who was definitely a fan favourite yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so impressive on that 85cc machine. As we watch our race leaders now and again, that looks like it could well be the outside to inside 303 Sean Rogerson as they go around then, and this could well be Lewis Cowper losing that final podium position. Is it, as they go over the Bathmate step up and back onto the tarmac? Number 303 Sean Rogerson is now through up into 3rd position, so dropping down back in towards Farm Bends, and that is the fight for 3rd.
Yeah, Rogerson there really keeping the pressure on now. Ian Rogerson, now that brother Sean has found a way through. Is he going to be able to replicate that with only 2 laps remaining as we head down to the start-finish straight? Ian not looking quite as close there as Sean was on that previous lap. And there's the 150 of Liam Pearson, who currently sits in 5th place and has our current fastest lap of this session.
No, you're absolutely right there. Liam Pearson on the 150. Let's not forget, he started in the middle of that row number 1. So Liam Pearson has certainly made his race not the easiest, I think it's safe to say, as we watch that fight for the race lead. And Rogerson is already there on them. So that fight that was 2-way is now 3-way fight, as Lewis Cowper just seemingly can't quite match the pace of the leading trio at this stage. But keep your eyes on that 303 of Sean Rogerson, because it's not taken him too long to clamber up to the tail end of this battle for the lead.
It hasn't, but like we said yesterday, this circuit, it's all good being fast and having those lap times, but being able to make a pass in race conditions can be tricky. So the number 303 there of Rogerson taking that inside to outside line there, but just coming up on the back marker of the 771 of Darrell Brett there, managing to find a way through him nice and cleanly, but that has bunched up this group together. So as you said there, the number 6 of Dean Clark really coming under pressure now from Cowper, and it is Rogerson now that's managed to eke away out to 2nd place now, chasing down the number 16 man of Tommy Sayer.
Last lap flag now goes out. We are 8 laps complete. Only one more to go. So Tommy Sayer with a 1.1 second advantage just needs to manage the race from the front. That previous lap of 22.4 as we watch them as they go in towards. So there's the number 6 of Dean Clark.
There was a big moment there for the 150 of Liam Pearson on the brakes into Mere Hairpin. The 150 that has managed to catch up right onto the back of Ian Rogerson now. And you can see him now trying to go around the outside, but there's not enough room through that section. Here he is again, looking to go round the outside here. 3 abreast in this tight infield section. Does not go. So all the pressure now on the number 6 of Dean Clark as we've got a 4-rider battle there for 3rd place.
No, you're absolutely right there. And Liam Pearson, number 150, I mean, on this circuit as well, it's not the easiest to make the overtake. So, for want of a better way of describing it, you always have to bully your way through there, don't you? But he's taking it all in the stride as Tommy said, the number 16 machine goes for the outside, then the inside. And he's side by side now with the 303 of Sean Rogerson. So, over the step up there, it looks as though that is Sayer just about holding on to the race lead as we come towards the final corners.
It is. So, Rogerson there, doing everything he could to try and get alongside Sayer as they made their way up that step up, but it is Sayer now that comes out onto the start-finish straight, and is he able to keep Rogerson behind him? He is, to take the checkered flag and our first race win of the day.
That was some great defensive riding there from the number 16 of Tommy Sayer. He put that machine exactly where Sean Rogerson wanted to go through, and we saw him weaving on the front straight here before the checkered flag, trying to find a way through, but to no avail. So 0.2 of a second was the gap at the end of that race between Tommy Sayer and Sean Rogerson. And the number 6 of Dean Clark, he does hold on to that final podium position.
He does, but it will be our top 2 that make their way up to the B group for our second block of races coming on a little bit later on this afternoon. So that will be the number 16 of Tommy Sayer and the 303 of Sean Rogerson that will be joining us at the back of our B group for race 2.
Dean Clark, Lewis Cowper, Ian Rogerson complete the top 5. Liam Pearson, number 150, started in the middle of that front row and completes the race in 6th position, but does have the fastest lap of the race of a 1 minute 20.030. 7th position, Danielle, Edward Darnton.
Yeah, like we said earlier, a fan favourite on board that 85. So to be out there battling with our 450s, he's done really well there to find a way through on the 95 of John Oakes. 9th, we had the 17 of Jay Collins, and in 10th, it was the 159 of Jason Laycock, who had a good day yesterday. Our 11th place rider was the 85 of Philip Rigg, then another Academy rider in 12th, Max Rhodes. Then it was Goon Squad rider, the 671 of Steve Smith, and 14th went to the number 6 of Tyler Clark. 15th, we had Jackson Bennett on board that KTM, and then we also had the other Rhodes sibling, Lily Rhodes, there in 16th, and 17th was the 714 of Andrew Goodsell, with 18th being rounded out by Jonathan Reed.
There's a great race there, and I'm sure that we've got more to come later on for the Race IQ Group B, which will be making their way out onto the circuit in not too much time. And there is the top 3 from the first race of the day.
Yeah, great battle there, and I think we both know that it's going to be an exciting race with the number 303 of Sean Rogerson making his way up to the B group to see what progress he can make, because he was looking really racy in our first race of the day. But it will be the number 6 of Dean Clark on pole again for race 2 in the seas a little bit later.